What are the hardest pets to find in Adopt Me in every category? Before I explain it to you, if you guys want your own Mega Neon pet, leave a like on the video, hit the subscribe button, and comment down your Roblox username. Alright, so I've had this question asked a lot. Everyone keeps on asking me what were the hardest pets for me to get, trying to collect every single Mega Neon pet in the game. So I'm gonna go through every rarity starting at common. I'm gonna do the Mega Neons only. This is the current setup. And I'm going to go through every rarity and explain the top 3 hardest pets for me to actually find. Starting with the common pets, I feel like this one shouldn't be too hard. For the most part, most of the common pets were extremely easy to find. In the beginning, when the Pony Pass first came out, finding the show ponies were a little difficult, but after a week, it became extremely easy. So I'm not going to put that in the top 3. The Robin, I feel like it's more of just trading for it. It's not difficult to find since from the Christmas egg, there's like an 80% chance you actually get a Robin. It's so easy to just get Robin. So I'm not going to count that one either. For me, getting the Garden Snake first was extremely difficult. You had to play mini games before it officially released. I got the Mega Garden Snake a few days before the actual release, so it was a little bit difficult to get. But nowadays, it's super easy to find. I want to show you guys some of the harder pets to get over time. In my top 3, I definitely have to include the chicken. They're extremely hard to trade for. You have to give up a lot. This was probably the most difficult mega pet I had to get that was a common, so it's gonna be my number 1 pet. And to be honest, most of these other pets were extremely easy to get. The second one that was a little bit easier to get, but nowadays I feel like a lot of people try getting it and they want a lot of overpays for it, is the Ghost. It is a really cool looking Mega Neon pet. It's a full body mega. It's probably one of the cheapest pets you can trade for in terms of value. And getting a full mega pet, I don't think any other common pet is actually fully mega, not even the chicken. Actually, that might be the only Mega Neon pet that's full body mega. Like even this one, I thought the Beluga Whale would be full body mega, but they just made the fins Mega Neon. Finally, one of the hardest pets to get is the Ash Zebra. It was so difficult to find this in Mega Neon. You needed to get the bait and then get a zebra, and you know, they were hard to trade for. So Ash Zebra, the chicken, and the Ghost are probably the hardest Mega Neon common pets to find. The chicken because it's a fan favorite. The Ghost is the only common Mega Neon full body. There's a few pets that I feel like should have been full body mega, but I'm not sure why they didn't do it. I guess because it's a common, why would they do that? Like I feel like the ant was a perfect pet to make full body mega, but they didn't end up doing that either. The Sato Mo was another one that would have been perfect. It's just like a round little figure. It could have been full body mega, but yeah, they didn't decide to do it. The only one that we have is the Ghost, so that's why it has a crazy amount of value. Same with the chicken, just a fan favorite pet, and then the Ash Zebra was a little bit harder to get. So those are the top 3 hardest common Mega Neon pets for me to get. And for you guys, if you guys were going to trade for one, I feel like those were going to be the most difficult. Obviously the other ones are difficult as well. The Bandicoot's a little bit older now, but for the most part, it should be possible to get these all in Mega Neon if that's a goal you want to have. Those were the top 3 hardest ones for me to find, and probably for other people to find as well. Now let's move on to the uncommon pets, and I feel like I should start from the beginning, and I want to see if I can just point out any of them that might be difficult to get. So far, these were all pretty easy to get. None of them were too difficult to get. But in terms of value, if you really wanted to get the Mega Neon Blue Dog, this is probably going to be the most expensive blue dog or uncommon pet you could try and trade for. It is one of the oldest pets in Adopt Me. Getting it in Mega Neon is probably going to cost you a lot of pets. It is difficult to trade for, so I feel like that might be the most expensive like to trade for uncommon mega pet. So I'm gonna put that top 1, tied probably with the Pink Cat because they were released at the same time, which is right here. So those are gonna be the top 2 hardest uncommon pets, and let's go through them real quick. I want to see which one I think is gonna be in 3rd place. Obviously, there's a lot of cool looking pets in here, but there's one that stands out a lot, and I always see people trying to trade for it, and it's extremely hard to find for some reason. Well, not the hardest. Obviously, there's a lot of older uncommon pets, like the Black Panther, but it's not a fan favorite. The Capybara is a cute pet, but it's also not something a lot of people trade for. You guys would be surprised. One of the pets that I see everyone looking for is the silly duck. I mean, it's a really cool pet. I love the animation, and it's a silly duck. It's a duck. Everyone loves ducks. So yeah, it's in the top 3 harder pets to get if you're trying to get it. I know the frog spawn is another fan favorite. It's not as hard to get as the others. It is difficult to find most of the time. I think one of the reasons people do like it, it's another one of those pets that are full body Mega Neon. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if there's another uncommon full body Mega Neon. It might just be the frog spawn, but I know this is one of those pets that people love trading for. They're not that hard to find. You can probably trade for them very easily, but it is one of those pets that people do look for often. It's a really cool looking pet. So yeah, my top 3, Pink Cat, Blue Dog, obviously those are a given. Those are probably some of the more rare pets. The Drake is also sometimes included in that, but it's not as favorited as the silly duck. The silly duck is just a special pet in my opinion. People love it. People love collecting this. It might be a little bit more difficult to try and get this in Mega Neon. Apart from that, every other pet is kind of easier to get. These are older pets like the wild boar, but they're not really like fan favorite pets. If you wanted to, you could probably get some decent trades on them if you search hard enough. All right, let's just move on to the next one. So far, we've done the common and uncommons. Now for the rare ones, some of these were extremely difficult for me to find. I don't know how to rank it exactly on how difficult it was for me to trade for them or how much people love trading for them. Obviously, one of the fan favorites for the rare section is the cow. This is probably going to be the one that you trade the most for, but they're extremely easy to find if you're to look for them. They're not hard pets to find around Adopt Me. I think one of the harder pets to find is probably going to be the mule. I don't know why, but this was one of the hardest pets for me to find. I searched so long and so hard for the mule, and it was almost impossible. It took me weeks to actually find it. There's a lot of other pets that are really cool, like the evil rock and other pets. In terms of me finding them, the mule was hard. I think it was from a Halloween update. I'm not entirely sure. Another pet that was a little bit difficult to find was the anteater and the goose. I think both of these were Robux pets. I think the goose was 150 Robux, and not a lot of people bought it. Same with the giant anteater. This one was 100 Robux, but again, I think a lot of people didn't think it was a cool pet. So there wasn't that many people that actually got it. They were both released in 2023, I'm pretty sure. If you guys know the exact times, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, this one was really difficult to find, the anteater. The goose, I know a lot of people had it actually. It's a cool looking pet. I kind of wish it was full body mega. It has really cool animations as well. It flies with you. It's a cool pet. If I were to rank them in my top 3, I would put the anteater number 1 only because of how difficult it was for me to find it. Number 2, I would put the cow. I have to. I think it's the most popular mega rare pet, and it's a tough one between the goose and the cow. I can't really decide. I almost skipped over this. I didn't see the border collie there. This one was also very difficult for me to find. I don't know if this one was a Robux pet. I feel like usually when I'm trying to trade for them, like years later or like a year after they've been released, the Robux pets are usually the hardest ones to find. The border collie was up there in terms of difficulty. The anteater and the border collie were one of the hardest pets for me to find. They cannot be found anywhere, and eventually I ended up getting them. So yeah, that's the only reason they're up so high. They were just hard to find. All right, let's go on to the next section, the ultra rares. And there's going to be a lot of ultra rare pets, so it's going to be hard to decide the top 3, honestly. A lot of these pets were very difficult to find. I feel like I have to include the Dalmatian. They're almost impossible to find nowadays. I don't see them often when trading. The hedgehog is another pet that is hard to find. Same with the kookaburra. I think it's harder to find as well. There's so many pets in here that people just didn't get when they were released. Either there were too much Robux or they were too expensive, so people didn't end up buying them. But I have to be honest, when I was doing the challenge getting every Mega Neon pet, there was one pet that was the hardest to find. You guys wouldn't even suspect this pet to be the hardest to find, but I struggled with the wood pigeon. I don't know if this was a Robux pet or how you got the wood pigeon. I couldn't tell you. It's definitely not one of the normal pets that you just get from an egg or just randomly. You had to do something for this. I don't know what it was. People also confuse it with, I think, the stone pigeon or something, rock pigeon, something like that, one of those pets. But the wood pigeon, I struggled so much with this. I think this was one of the final pets I had to try and find. It took me like 3 weeks to actually find it. So I have to put this in my top 3 no matter what, only because of how difficult it was for me to find it. I'm trying to remember what other pets. A lot of these pets were extremely easy to find. So many people had them. What is another pet that I just couldn't find? The pelican was kind of easy to find. I know a lot of days people say they're harder to find, but I think they might be. But for me, that was not that hard. I found that one pretty easily. Honestly, for the top 2, I have to put the hedgehog. It's just one of those pets that are hard to get in Mega Neon. It's super expensive. I don't think it's super hard to find. I feel like a lot of people or some people might have it. But honestly, for now, it's a wood pigeon and the hedgehog. And it's hard to find a third one. There's so many pets that were difficult to find. Obviously, the pelican is a fan favorite right now. Some of the UGC pets were hard to get as well in Mega Neon. So it's hard to actually point out which one was the hardest one. But if I remember correctly, around that time, the African wild dog was one of those pets that I struggled to find. I really wanted to get it in Mega No Potion, but I couldn't find it. But I did manage to get a Mega Ride one. In terms of how hard they are to find, the ultra rares for me were the wood pigeon, the African wild dog, and nowadays I would say the Dalmatian, but I feel like the hedgehog beats it out just a little bit. So those are my top 3 for the ultra rare pets. And now the legendary ones. Now this one is going to be a little bit more difficult. There's so many pets that were just so hard for me to get. I'll start off with one that was really hard to get. The diamond butterfly. I got this before it increased in value like a ton. Even then, getting the mega diamond butterfly was not an easy task. I don't know if it deserves the value it has now, but I will put it in the top 3. It was extremely hard for me to get it. And even nowadays, I don't see them as often. And obviously, I could include the giraffe or some of the older pets. but I see those traded a lot actually in rich trading servers. There are some pets that I don't get to see traded a lot, and even when I was looking for these mega pets, it took me a while to find some of them. This is gonna be like a weird list. Obviously, I don't have the Mega Bat Dragon and I just can't afford it, so I feel like maybe I should include that. That could probably be one of the hardest mega pets to ever get, especially nowadays with how expensive it is to trade for it. So I feel like I'm obligated to include the Mega Bat Dragon, the Mega Diamond Butterfly, of course, as well. And honestly, for the top 3, there's so many options to choose from. And there's actually another pet that I don't have that I feel like if it gets replaced from the shop, like this update Adopt Me $3 thing, if they change the pets out next month, it might be one of the hardest mega pets to ever get. That is the Diamond Hummingbird. I am having such a hard time trying to get the Mega Diamond Hummingbird. I've been trying for 3 days. It is very difficult. If I had it, I would put it in the top 3. I've been trying really hard to find one. Even in Neon, it's a difficult task to find. One that I actually had a ton of trouble finding is the Frost Unicorn. I want to include it, but obviously there's so many other pets that I have to include. And there's pets that are already more rare than this, like the Balloon Unicorn. Although I feel like a lot of people have it. I feel like maybe the price is a little overrated, but I get it. People want this pet. It's either between the Blazing Lion. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find in Mega Neon, only because of how hard it is to find it. But people get it more often now because it's been in game so long. The Diamond Butterfly was hard to get as well. Cost a ton of Robux. And it's not in game, and I don't think it'll ever come back in game. In terms of how hard it was for me to find it, I would have to say the Frost Unicorn. And if I had it, maybe the Diamond Hummingbird. But not including these and just going off value, it probably has to be the Mega Shadow Dragon, the Mega Bat Dragon, and maybe the Mega Diamond Butterfly. The Mega Diamond Butterfly is just hard to find in general, and it's very, very expensive to trade for. So those are probably my top 3.